everything happens for a reason. And I'm not sure if I'm saying this or if this is belief that I put like installed in myself in order to make me feel better about things that went wrong or didn't go the way I planned. But truly believing that no matter what has happened or no matter what will happen is for the greater good and is for a reason just makes me feel so much more at ease with everything. Because with all these things, like for example, I'm a senior, so I'm applying places right now, right? And there's obviously schools that are my dream school, and I'm super excited and I want to see if I get in. But in the back of my mind, I think if I don't get accepted, there's a reason, and there's something better for me. It probably wouldn't have worked out. Another example is if somebody rejects you or something doesn't work out with a significant other or significant person, it means that it could have ended worse, or there's someone better for you, or right now it's not the time. Everything does happen for a reason. And I think forcing it is kind of the worst thing anyone could do, because oftentimes a relationship could work out and might even be your person, might be for you, but when you force something, you kind of ruin the chances of that happening, because you can't force anything. Law of attraction? I don't know my laws, but law of, what is it called? I don't know. I don't know. Starts with the D. Anyway, so yeah. So I think it's important to just yeah, I think it's important to just let go and believe that everything happens for a reason. No matter what you believe in, I think if you believe that everything happens how it's supposed to, it'll all work out. I truly believe that no matter what, everything will work out, and that's okay, and that's so beautiful. So yeah. Another thing is when looking into who you want, what you want, and who you want, it's important to make a list. I think that's what I did. Make a list of things that you absolutely need or things that you want in a significant other, and then practice it yourself. I had to talk about this with one of my friends actually a few days ago, and she talks about how she made this list and she follows it. She talked about how she cared about grades, or she cared about like athleticism and being like healthy and taking care of yourself, being like motivational, stuff like that. And she knows that if she's looking for those traits in someone else, she has to also have those traits. So I also made one of these lists, and I looked at who I want my significant other to not who I want, but what traits I want them to have. And I started to try to following that. I just started to follow that. And I also changed as a person, as well as, let's say, for an example, you want kindness and love, right? But if you're not kind and you're not loving, how do you expect to get that? You know what I mean? Whatever you give out will come back, no matter what. And sometimes obviously we give people love and they just take it and they don't give you any back, and that's also okay. They needed that love, and that's okay, right? But for the most part, if you're a kind, good person, it will come back. So that's the good thing about it. And I think it's important to kind of practice what you preach, if you will. Yeah. But I think life is very short, and you shouldn't wait for someone, because I don't know if I fully believe in a soulmate or in fate. Although I have clicked with a person, obviously, I've clicked with someone, and I remember feeling all these feelings, and even like thinking like, oh wow, like I don't know. I remember thinking about all that. but I'm not sure if that's a soulmate. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can think that somebody's gonna magically walk into your life and will be perfect for you. You know what I mean? That kind of happened. They walked into my life, and at that time it did feel perfect, and I did think I kind of found the one. But I also think that the one isn't found, is also made. And if you aren't willing to put in the effort and you're just waiting for this perfect Prince Charming on a white horse to sweep you off your feet, you're wasting your time. That's not going to happen. Love takes so much energy and effort and tears, and it's hard, you know, like fully like letting your guard down, being vulnerable, and loving someone more than you even love yourself sometimes is so beautiful, but it's so hard too, you know, like it's not just for everyone. And some people aren't ready for that as well, which is totally fine. We're all in like different stages in our life, and that's okay. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I keep losing track. Yeah. Something that I have noticed though, that when I took time to focus on myself, and right now I'm focusing on myself, and I'm having almost of this kind of negative image around dating and around like boys, if you will, which is bad. I understand that I shouldn't have like such a negative perspective. Sorry, I know I shouldn't, but I know what I want, and I'm kind of under the impression that no one my age would be able to give me that right now. Although I think trying things out, doing things for fun, being easygoing is very important to try to understand yourself and who you are as a person, as well as in like with other people, in relationships, stuff like that. I don't think I want to give myself, my emotions, and all these things to somebody who I don't see a future with. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like, let's date to marry. No, not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I don't even want to entertain the idea, or I call this wasting my time. Someone might not, but I don't want to waste my time or energy into something that I know won't work out or wouldn't even be worth it, because the time I spent in October, well, September and October, on this guy who wasn't even really into all this energy, and I was so drained, and it was so hard. It was genuinely hard, when I could have put it somewhere else. And after that, I took like a step back, and I started to really focus on things that I knew I valued and that made me me, you know? And this is kind of how I got here, which is crazy. But I like feel this internal peace right now, and it would have never happened if I wasn't willing to make it happen, you know? I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how this sprung up even as well. So yeah, this I will probably post, and then maybe like in a few days, weeks, whatever, I will do like an actual good copy. It's not a good copy, but you know what I mean. Because this is just like a bunch of random ideas. I don't even have a script. I started writing, I wrote intro, and then I was like, I don't have anything to write because I'm like everywhere today, which is also okay. That's okay. But yeah, I think to reach this internal peace is hard and it's challenging, and I don't even fully know how I reached it, honestly. I remember even last week, I remember feeling this sort of resentment for this person, the one from the summer. This resentment, and I wrote in my journal. I have 2 journals now. I have a morning journal, which I did not like about a week ago. I have my morning journal, which I take to school sometimes when I don't have time in the mornings, so it's kind of dirty. It's been through a lot, but it's called the 5-minute journal, and it's honestly amazing. I truly love it. So it has like a quote of the day. So here, it has a quote of the day. It has things I'm grateful for, 3 things. What would make today great? 3 things. Daily affirmation, as well as, and then at night, you have highlights of the day and what did I learn today. And it's so cute, and I love it because it gets me to think about life and my day in a more positive perspective, which is important. But yeah, so in this journal, if anyone ever breaks into my house, don't go through it, please. That'd be bad, right? So I have not wrote in it too much yet, but I kind of wrote, I remember going along the lines, I hate you. And I think that's so negative, but I also think that these emotions that are perceived as negative and that we should try to avoid, I think it's important to feel them, because this positive, negative, like, what's the word? Toxic positivity, I think it's not gonna help you. If you feel a certain way, I think it's important to feel it, but not let it consume you. Because there was a moment for like a month almost where I was just a constant cycle of just being sad and depressed and miserable, and I just let myself be that way. You know what I mean? I didn't really put in the effort to not feel that certain way, and that's completely on me, and that's okay. But now I try to listen to my emotions and feel them, but also know when I have to let go, take a step back, no longer let it affect me. You know what I mean? But yeah, with that emotion, this quote that I read is grief, because I was just thinking about grief because that's how I felt. That grief is what happens when a person has too much love but nowhere to put it. I'm saying it so wrong. I don't know why. I don't have the brain capacity to think of stuff anymore. But I think that's so right, because I was going on like, I hate you, but I didn't really hate him, you know? I was just mad about the situation. I was mad it didn't work out, and I was sad about it, and that's okay. I'm actually gonna I'm not gonna read this out loud, but let me see what I was saying. Why did I hate him? Yeah. I was just sad about the situation, and that's okay. You know, that's okay. I think it's important to feel it, but also get it out and let go, move on. And me and the guy, actually, after I texted him about asking what happened and stuff, whatever, we started kind of snapping, stuff like that. Stupid. I initiated it, which I now looking back, I realized was not maybe the right choice, since it did make me kind of stay in contact and not fully let go. Now I feel like I'm in the position where I could talk with him and be in contact, and I'd still be okay. But back then, I shouldn't have, because I was just holding on to this idea. And yeah, I think he's a great person, and I value a lot of the traits he has. But I do think that if I'm meant to be with someone, it would have played out differently. And that helps me sleep at night peacefully. Actually, I sleep very peacefully nowadays. I used to not, but now I do, because I understand that if it was meant to happen, it would have. And if it didn't now, it might later. But if it will later, it will naturally end. I don't know when. And I'll be a different person. I change so often. Not my deep core values. They don't change. I've been actually making them more concrete. But I feel like I've been growing so much as a person in such a positive way, and I think you have to admire that and kind of own it, honestly. I don't know how this is happening. I don't know how I'm getting over things, and this is the first year that I've truly been able to feel things and not let it consume me, and kind of just let go and leave things as they are, not try to change anything, not try to change how things happened, not get caught up in the what ifs. And yeah, that's what I think. So yeah, if anyone's struggling with something like this, a lot of my friends are struggling with boyfriends and kind of not having anyone, specifically a significant other. And although I do think having someone is very important, at the right time, when it's meant to be, someone will come unexpectedly. And that sounds stupid, you know, when people say, oh, when you're not looking, someone's gonna find you. But sometimes when you want something too hard and you're looking too hard, you can make the wrong person seem like they're the one for you when they're not, you know? It's, you have to be honest with yourself and with what you want, and if somebody can actually give that to you. So yeah, I don't know if any of that made sense. Probably not. Don't know what I'm rambling on about. But yeah, I hope I have more things to say in the next one, because I'm doing this like back to back. Why, I don't know. So yeah.